this is Julie Hogue with the Vegetarians and Meat Lovers Split Table Recipes podcast. Why do I do this? Because so many of us cook for more than one diet. My family is this way. I cook for a split table. I'm a vegetarian. The rest of my family eats meat, except for my my son's new fiance, future daughter-in-law. There we go. My brain went blank for a second. She's a vegetarian, and they just got engaged. So it's very exciting. So anyway, I've been cooking this way since I was about 16, probably. And I had to cook for myself, which I was a vegetarian, and my dad and my sister. My mother passed away, and I became the primary cook. Well, so then I'm sitting here thinking, how do I cook? And she always had said to me, what do I make for you? What do I make for you? And I always had ideas. I bought her a vegetarian cookbook. And it's really not that hard. I'm going to tell you that. It's really not that hard. You just have to be very mindful of when and where you add the meat. And a lot of build your own meals work great. So I have a cookbook, One Dish, Two Diets. I have some recipes in there, and I have a quiche cookbook as well. But this podcast and my website, juliehoguewriter.com, have more recipes. And this podcast, I like to put the actual recipe in the show notes because people can refer back to it. And I have done this myself in the store where I'm like, wait, what ingredients do I need? And I have actually gone into like Spotify or something and like looked at the show notes to see what ingredients I need. And it's like you have it with you wherever you are. You have this like cookbook, digital cookbook in podcast form. So this is why I do it. Today, I'm going to do a salad. And it's like a healthy spinach Greek salad. It's so good. I've modified it a couple of times. So I'm going to tell you my variations. And my son, my middle son, who really likes to cook, he loves this recipe so much. He's been making it for himself, like on his own, for his own salad. And it's really very good. It's very simple. And so this is obviously a vegetarian salad. There's no meat added to it. However, you can add eggs. So I'm going to get to that. But it's really so good. And it's really simple. And you can switch out things. So I'll give you the first recipe. And as I'm going along, I'm going to probably mention when I've made it a different way, like if I swapped out an ingredient. It's a really good salad. But you do want to make it right before you're going to eat it. And it is pretty decent the next day. You know, I've had salads where the spinach gets all like mushy and limp and just like weird. But it stays pretty decent in this salad for a leftover. And for spinach, that's kind of rare. And I'm assuming it's because there's lemon juice in it to kind of preserve those spinach leaves and so they don't smush down to nothing. I feel like a lot of salads with spinach in them are not great leftovers. So this one is actually, it's pretty decent. So what are the ingredients that you're going to need? 5 ounces of fresh spinach, 1 can of chickpeas, drained and rinsed. I have made it without the chickpeas too, but that adds some protein if you want it. This is kind of like a protein salad. Like I think of this as a healthy spinach protein Greek salad. I guess maybe that's what I should call it. And then you want 1 container of grape tomatoes cut in half, or if they're really big ones, you can cut them in thirds. And then 1 green pepper chopped up. I've substituted this for a cucumber chopped up as well. So I haven't done both. I've done one or the other. And then you're going to need 4 ounces of feta cheese. Your dressing is going to be the juice of 2 lemons. So I fresh squeeze that and add it to, 2 lemons and 4 tablespoons of olive oil. That's it. That's all your dressing. That's it. Serious. And then 1 cup pepitas. Now you're probably like, what is a pepita? Some people don't know what it is. It's a pumpkin seed and it's already shelled. And often I find them in like the deli section of a grocery store. So I've done pepitas. I've also done walnut pieces. So that's one swap out I've done there. And then 1/4 cup fresh parsley. Substitute I've done here is using 1 tablespoon dried parsley. I really like the fresh parsley. It really pops, but the dried will do when you don't have any. And then croutons, any kind of croutons. And then the recent addition that I did recently when I last made it was to add 3 chopped up hard-boiled eggs. Boy, was that good. That was really good. I loved it. So it made more protein. So it was even more of a protein salad. And the great thing about that is you're getting the iron in. There's something about iron and eggs together. I forget what it is. So it makes it, I don't know, it's really a good combination. And it really is very tasty. I had all these hard-boiled eggs because we made some for Easter, of course, the dyeing of the eggs, the tradition, and had all these eggs. And I'm like, I'm just going to add them to this salad and see how it is. And it was really good. So, and then the interesting thing was I had made some egg salad with all these hard-boiled eggs, and my son made his own version of the salad, and then he added the egg salad to the healthy spinach Greek salad. And he said it was really good. I'm like, wow, that's a combo I wouldn't have thought of. So all these different things you can try to have a high-protein salad with spinach in it. Very, very good. And then also onion. I forgot to mention that. There's also one small onion chopped up, and I used the red onion, but I've also used yellow onion in this. But I really like the appearance of the red onion, which, why do we call it red onion? I mean, seriously, the thing is purple. It's purple. It's a purple onion. Why do we insist on calling it a red onion when it's purple? That's what I want to know. That's my big beef with how we call things. Like, why? Why are we calling something red that's purple? I don't get it. But if I say purple onion, people are going to be like, what's that purple onion? But if you look at them, they are not red. They are purple. It's a bizarre thing. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But, it is what it is. So you can also cut this in half. I've done this where you would do like half of it. So it's a smaller salad. Since always salads really are better fresh. And so I really put the dressing on right before we're going to eat it. I get it all ready, and then I do the dressing and toss it right before we're going to eat it. But like I said, it's really not a bad one for leftover. And spinach is one that I've had some salads where they just, the spinach is just not good the next day. It's like in a little clump, totally wilted, smushed into like a weird glob. And so it's not necessarily a great leftover salad. But this one is pretty decent, I have to say. It's not a bad thing. So it's really a fun one to add to any meal or even as a lunch. And with all the nuts and the eggs and the cheese, it's a really great one that's really full of more protein. So this is great for also a vegetarian who maybe is trying to get a little more protein. For instance, sometimes when I'm making a meal, I might struggle with what am I going to add for extra protein for myself, especially for grilling or something where I'm not having a portobello mushroom or something on the grill too, like a veggie burger or something. This is a great side to have when you don't have a big protein piece of that meal. So you can add it in. And for me, it's a lot of things that I often just have at home, except for maybe the feta cheese. But I almost always have spinach, right? I almost always have a can of chickpeas. Tomatoes, you could substitute other kinds of tomatoes. It doesn't have to be the grape tomato. You could do but any kind of tomato. And lemons I often have, and nuts, I tend to have nuts. I mean, you could swap out the nuts too. Like if you want to try a different nut, cashew, sunflower, it's very interchangeable. But it's a great way to add more protein into the meal, especially for someone who is a vegetarian and there isn't a big protein source in that meal. So this is the kind of thing that I love to have kind of in my back pocket. Like, well, how am I going to add this? And, if I don't have fresh parsley, which we often have fresh parsley because we have a guinea pig and her name is Maggie. We call her Magoo. Sometimes we call her Magoot. She has lots of different names. But I am always buying herbs for her. So I often have fresh herbs, and parsley is one of them. She just loves parsley. But you can use dried. One time I didn't have any parsley left because the guinea pig had eaten it all. So I just used dried, and it was pretty good. I didn't feel like I hated it. I really like the fresh parsley, but the dried is still pretty good. And it just gives us such a great flavor. And it's a good amount, 1/4 cup of fresh parsley chopped. That's a good amount of parsley, right? So this isn't like a little bit. So that's my equivalent was I did a tablespoon of the dried parsley leaves, and it was pretty good too. So it's good. And in my life, things are kind of crazy. My son is now engaged. He's graduating from college. And my youngest is in robotics, and they just got accepted to Worlds, which is just only 12% of robotics teams over across the entire world go to this. So, and it is teams from all around the world. So that's really exciting. That's going on. And we just have many things going on with the graduation and the wedding. It's been a bit crazy. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts, schools, activities, and it's been busy. I got to say, it's been great, but it is a busy time. And it'll be a memorable time. It'll be a memorable summer for sure with all of this going on. but it's busy. But I found time to record this, and I hope you're enjoying my podcast. You can get all different kinds of recipes. Like I said, scroll through. And I think most of them I put the recipe in the show notes. And if I didn't, I put a link to my podcast where you can see it there. And often you can print off the recipe from my podcast or from my website. I really like that too. I take pictures, screenshots of recipes a lot too. But I do like to have it printed out. So whether it's in a book or on a piece of paper, it's easier as you're making it. Like my phone always shuts down and I'm like, okay, I go back in my phone again. The same thing with the in the podcast, like the actual podcast, but it's very convenient. Like I said, I've used it countless times for myself, my website and my podcast. Be like, okay, I'm going to make this. What am I going to make? Especially if I didn't make a list for the store. I'm like, okay, what am I going to make? I'll just go to my podcast and scroll through and I can get the ingredients as I'm shopping. I've done that. I've literally done that. I'm like, okay, how do I make this again? And then I can buy the ingredients right from the show notes of my own podcast. So you can do that too, if you want to. It's a fun time. And so my next episode, I'm going to talk about baked feta eggs recipe. This is an interesting recipe, and it was really good. I really liked it. You'll have to see, but it's an unusual combo that I don't think I would have thought of. But it's kind of Greek-like too, because it's got the feta cheese and the olive oil and the oregano and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. That's coming soon. And I hope you have an amazing, wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying spring. It's finally getting warm in Minnesota. And we're going to have a little bit of a heat wave. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we will take it. I am so ready for spring and summer and warm weather and moving out of this cold, frigid stuff. It's so not fun. I love the season changes, but the cold gets too long. That's all I got to say. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope you have an amazing day. All right, take care. Bye-bye now.
Cantu heard you loud and clear with their new Ultra Moisture collection. Powered by Botana oil and Jamaican black castor oil, this new lineup collection is clinically proven to deliver nonstop moisture for up to 5 days. 5 whole days. The shampoo gently cleanses without stripping, and the leave-in and stylers keep curls soft, defined, and nourished long after wash day. Plus, it's free of sulfates, parabens, silicones, and mineral oils. If your curls have been craving real moisture, this is it. So if your hair's curls have been thirsty, go ahead and try the new Cantu Ultra Moisture collection. Your curls will thank you. Available now at Walmart.